as much as, I'm against the pay-to-play system, I'm a big advocate about that, but my old youth soccer system, I've never paid a dime.
Wow. The other thing that stood out to me was kind of the Freddie Adu effect, right? Do you think he paved the way for you at all?
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Imagine that, right? Beckham signed. I was at the IMG Academy, came home. Beckham is blasted all over the TV. Then I got the call that I was going to play with him. Imagine as a kid how that felt, man.
Welcome. You are now tuned in to the EPB podcast. As usual, it's your host, Matt Marshall, and I am here with a special guest. You know, it's all about the culture here. It's all about learning different players around the globe and their stories. And I have a great guest for us today. I have Mr. Israel Sesay. He made his professional debut for the LA Galaxy at just 16 years old. He bounced around, played for a bunch of professional teams in the U.S., currently still playing up in Ontario for the Empire Strikers, and is also doing some coaching. We've got a lot to talk about, but first and foremost, welcome, Izzy. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Your story is incredible, bro. Jumping on the LA Galaxy at 16 years old, bro. Like, can we start from the beginning? Actually, forget all that. Let's start very, very beginning. You're originally from Sierra Leone, right?
Yes, I am. So I was born in Sierra Leone. I was born there, but I came here when I was like 14 years old. But to be honest, I came here just to have a better life. I didn't come here to play soccer. I mean, I was playing soccer when I was back in Sierra Leone. But there was a civil war going on over there when I was growing up. You know, people were fighting over diamonds. I'm sure, maybe you have heard the stories. Like, if you've seen that movie Blood Diamond, I think that story is about, Sierra Leone, like where I'm from.
Yeah.
So growing up, there was a crazy civil war going on. Matt, I'm very, very lucky. I'm really not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Because during that civil war, a lot of my family, friends, and people that I was close with passed away. And me, as a kid, I came close, but luckily God put me here, and I don't know why, but coming to the States was definitely a blessing for me because I never thought that I was gonna be here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever? It's funny, like, getting older and kind of trying to remember back on times that were probably not as tough during the time as you look back on and go, man, I went through that. Like, have you ever talked to your parents or family about just those experiences and how it was getting to the United States? Or do you remember specifically how it was?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to my dad, although, some different cultures. But yeah, I talked to him. It was difficult, during the war, I was going days, weeks without food, just staying in the house. Because nobody wanna go outside. If you go outside, you can get shot. Yeah. Just like that. So, but that shaped me to who I am today. But I mean, it was difficult. Yeah. It was definitely difficult.
I can't imagine. So you immigrated from Sierra Leone to Gaithersburg, Maryland, to Maryland, and
yes,
which it's funny. I have family out there. I know that area very well. The burbs. Basically, right? The burbs of the DMV. And then when did you started playing football again?
So, like you said, I moved to Maryland just to have a better life. Never thought I was going to play. I'm happy that I'm in the States, trying to go to school, trying to get some education and find a better life. And my cousin came and visit me one time, and he was like, bro, you was playing ball back home. Like, are you still playing? And I was like, nah, man, I don't play anymore. So he told me about a coach in Maryland, in Potomac. At that time, the name of the club is called Potomac Cougars. So there was a guy who was coaching with the Potomac Cougars. And so my cousin said, I know this coach. I can talk to him about you. and we can get you out there and go and try out. And I kind of shut him down. I was like, nah, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want to play. Then he finally convinced me. So I got in contact with the coach, and the coach told me, okay, we practice Mondays and Wednesdays. Just come out, and I will take a look at you. So I came out there on the tryout, and man, the team manager, the coach, it was like, man, we want you to play for us.
You came out and just busted them.
Where the hell? It was like, I've never seen anybody like you. Can you play for us? Where's your parents? Where you from? So he just started from there, and they got in contact with my dad, and they told him, hey, we want your son. We want him to play. Is that okay? Then my dad looked at me, hey, it's up to him. Like, I don't really care if you want to play. Just talk to him. Then I was like, yes, Dad, I want to play. So that's how it started. It started from my cousin coming in to visit me, convinced me to go out there and try out. And once I get over there, that's when everything started again. That's how I got into the club environment.
Yeah, the like youth club American system. How long would you say between actually coming to Maryland and then getting into the club? Was it like a year, couple years?
Yes. About a year, couple of years.
Wow.
I was just, like I would go to the park and play with the amigos, like.
Okay. So you were still playing a little bit for sure.
Yeah,
okay.
But like it wasn't like serious. Like I wasn't taking it like serious. I would just go and just kick around, But when that really, really happened was like getting to like an organized, club scene. Was like a couple of years when I went over there. And the other funny story was the team manager came to my house and he was like, listen, you got to pay this, and that. And my dad was like, oh, I don't have that money.
No.
and the team manager was like, okay, don't worry. We will take care of everything. Just bring him to practice every day.
Wow. Your man was that good. Because, I mean, there's a bunch of ballers out here in America for sure, but still kind of get that like pay to play kind of pushed onto them where it just honestly ruins their career. So
that's true.
To be at that, that time, what was that like? What would you say, like 2002 or 3 or something like that around that time?
Yes, around that time, yeah.
Early 2000s, and you got somebody who's like, man, you're this good. Don't worry about paying. You just got to come ball with us. What would you?
Like I didn't understand it, but now looking back at it, man,
yeah,
that was crazy. But they thought I was so good, and they were willing to pay for everything. All they want me to do is show up Mondays and Wednesdays, and show up on the weekend to play. So that was a blessing too.
And so when you were playing with them, like, what would you say? I mean, this is Potomac.
Potomac Cougars.
Potomac Cougars. What what tier, what level would you say this team was, this club was in the overall DMV area?
You know what? It was a big club because Freddie Adu came from there too.
Okay.
So Freddie was playing with that club. Obviously, it was in the older age group playing. So the club was well known in Maryland. I mean, looking back at it, I didn't know. I just like, man, I just want to play. I don't even know nothing about the club.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to get in and play.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, okay. I can travel. I can go to, Philadelphia and these different states and go play tournaments. Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So we won. I think my team was not like a top team until I really get there.
Yeah.
Then we start winning things, right? We start winning state cup. We went to regional and newspapers start talking about me. The old state of Maryland, the ODP came after me.
Yeah.
Hey, we want him to play. And it was the same situation. ODP, you got to pay. And they was like, no, don't pay for anything. Just come and play. We'll sponsor him. We'll take care of him.
Yeah.
So, it was a blessing. But when I got there, the team was okay. Yeah. But we start win state cup. I took them to regional. We even went to national. So I didn't know the level that we were playing, but I know that, when I was there, and I definitely make some changes there.
So with ODP, did you actually go to those camps and play in those region teams? Yeah.
Yes, I
So you
did.
you
Yes, I
you
did. So
played in the
that's how
U.S.
it all
system.
started.
Okay.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that's how it all started. So the ODP team came after me. I went to a couple of practice. I went to the Region One camp, which was Region One. You have Maryland, Rhode Island, what
New York's not in that.
Pennsylvania,
The
right? Who
tri-states,
else?
like
Virginia.
Virginia for
All
sure.
all the little place over there, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the Region One camp. Obviously, the national team was there too. At that time they had the residency program in Bradenton. So when I was there, obviously they spotted me playing with them, and like a couple weeks later, I got a call from the national team, the U17. They were like, "Listen, we have this program that we do in Bradenton, and we're gonna choose 40 players at your age group to go up there and play, and we want him to be one of these guys, and it was the same thing, like as much as I'm against the pay to play system. I'm a big advocate about that, but my old youth soccer system, I've never paid a dime.
Wow.
Even when I went to the national team, I never paid. They took care of everything, and it was just amazing. I wish a lot of kids can
Yeah.
experience that now.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the issue that we have with this country. A lot of kids end up not playing because of that. But for me, I was fortunate because I had the talent, so people were willing to just get me on their team
Yeah.
and just pay for me. So
For
that was a
sure.
blessing.
Yeah. Would you say, like, honestly and truly, like, when you were playing in these clubs and then got to ODP, where were you thinking your talent was compared to everybody around you? Like, were you like, man, this is easy, or were you just playing like you didn't even think about it?
I didn't even think about it. I was playing. It come to a point where when I was in this camp, I was so raw, I was so different, because of my background. I didn't have no organized coaching growing up in Sierra Leone. Just get the ball and just play with bare foot.
Yeah.
I'm a dribbler. Give me the ball, I dribble everybody. It come to a point that when we were having one-on-one meeting, coaches were saying that he's not coachable
Mm.
because of the American system. I know it sucks to say, but it's true.
Yeah.
Where we don't create extraordinary players here. It's about getting the ball, pass, trap, pass, and run. And me, I came from a different background where I get the ball, I'm just trying to dribble and use skills. So I didn't think about it now, but I was just playing. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
And I was definitely one of the top players there. So I don't want to say it was easy, but I wasn't thinking like that. I was just
Right.
playing.
You were just trying to
Right.
beat players, create for your team, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine you're at U17 camp. You got to be what, still 15, maybe 16 at this point?
Yes,
I guess
yes,
15.
15, yes. Yeah. It,
Were you even thinking there was like a professional in your future at that point?
no, when you at that age, you don't think about it. I was actually thinking about, wow, what college am I going to go to?
Yeah.
Because when you went to the residency program, you start getting all this bunch of letters from all the top schools.
Yeah.
They just send it to my parents. My parents would call it, oh, it's another letter. So at that time, I was just thinking, okay, which school I'm going to go to? Which ones are the top schools out there?
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking about going pro until the preseason, right? So usually when MLS preseason comes around, a lot of this MLS team go to Florida to go do preseason because of the weather.
Mm.
So when they go over there, they scrimmage the U17 national team. So I was able to play
Ah.
against Chicago Fire. I was able to play against Columbus Crew, New England Revolution. So they play against us. The first game that we played, after the game, the next day, we had a brief, and the coach pulled me aside. He's like, hey, there's teams looking at you right here. People are talking about you. This MLS team are talking about you. Then that's when I start thinking like, oh, okay, this might happen, right? But although they were telling me that, but it didn't ring the bell. It was just like, okay, I play good. I scored 2 goals against them, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
So the next game we play against Columbus Crew. The bunch of MLS guys were on the sideline looking at the game, and you know, I had an amazing game too. I'm playing, I'm just not thinking about it, just having fun. Then that's when our head coach at that time, his name was John Ackwood. I think he was end up being the Philadelphia Union coach, and things like that. So that's when he really pulled me aside. He called my mom. He called my dad, and he was like, "Listen, there's some real interest coming from the MLS.
Wow.
They really think that your son can play. So this is something that you guys have to think about. This it's like the path is there. He can go to college, or he can take this opportunity and sign with the MLS."
Wow.
It was like, but we just putting it out there because the coaches are coming and they're talking about him,
Yeah.
and they feel like he's ready to go right now. But we just wanna let you guys know. So after that summer, I went back home, chilling. I got a call from the MLS, and they were like, "Listen, we really think that you're ready to go in, right, and join the MLS." But to be honest, I wasn't sure. I was young. I wasn't sure. So they gave me the option. They was like, "Listen, we can send you to different MLS teams, go there and train, and we can get a feedback from the coaches. If the coaches feel like you are ready, we can definitely get you in the league." So I trained with DC United,
Wow.
New England Revolution. So every time I went over there, I would go there for like a week, train, come back home. Then the MLS would call them and they would give them a feedback. It's like, "Listen, this is what we think about him." And it was all a positive feedback.
Yeah.
"Listen, man, this guy's raw. This kid can play. This kid can play. We think he's ready to go in."
Yeah.
So I went to those two clubs, but I knew in the background, I knew that the Galaxy was the one that really, really was pushing for me. Again, I know I'm going all the way in, and
No. I love it. I mean, a couple things stand out to me just in the story. One of the things is the MLS called you, right? It's not like
Right.
individual clubs are hitting you up. It's like
the
it's
MLS.
one organization like, "Hey, come on in." I think that's, it's obviously not like how Europe is or anything, South America, anywhere else. That's interesting. And
Yep.
and also like so you trained with LA Galaxy. That's why they were so interested in you as well.
No, I never trained with LA Galaxy,
Wow.
but at that time, Alexi Lalas was the GM. So during those preseason, right, those matches at Bradenton, Lexi Lalas was there. Obviously, he was there looking at games, spotting. I think the Galaxy was there, but we never play against them.
Yeah.
We play against Columbus Crew and I think Chicago Fire.
Okay.
And we play against the U20 national team. So we played 3 games that weekend, that point of that weekend. So that's when he spotted me. He was the one that was like, "We want him, we want him, we want him." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The other thing that stood out to me was kind of the Freddie Adu effect, right? Like
Right.
he was maybe 2 or 3 years older than you, maybe 4, and he had just kind of come into Maryland, and I think went to IMG Academy, and
Same thing,
burst
right.
on the scene, and then obviously he signs his, he blows up, right?
Right.
Regardless of the story. Do you think he paved the way for you at all, or in that way?
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Because it was the same path I took.
Wow.
I think there's a couple players that took that path too. Landon Donovan was the same.
Yeah.
I don't think Landon. I played with Landon for 3 years. I don't think he never went to college. He never did.
Yeah,
He
no.
went from IMG Academy, same thing, like Bradenton, which is IMG Academy, is the same.
Yeah.
He went there straight to the league. So it was the same path. Me, Freddie took that path. Landon,
Yeah.
Brett Shea. There's a bunch of guys that
Brett
actually
Shea.
did the same path.
What is that? So
That I did.
what does that look like? Like, so I'm assuming you're in school in Maryland, right? And then when all this happens, you just go down to Bradenton, and then you're kind of out of school now, and you're in the IMG school, or?
So the IMG Academy obviously is a big academy, right? They have soccer, tennis,
Basketball.
bunch of basketball, different things. So the U.S. national team, the residency program, have us living there at the academy because of the setup,
Yeah.
right? They have the dome, they have the soccer field. So I think the U.S. youth soccer was paying them for us to be there. So when you join the residency program, you're not living at home anymore. It's just a real academy. You move from your house to IMG. You go to school there. So pretty much this is it, Matt. So we wake up in the morning, we go straight to the gym around 6 a.m. From gym, we had breakfast. From breakfast, we come straight back to the dorm. We grab our training gear, change, 7:38. The boss come pick us up. We go straight to the field.
Wow.
We practice for about 2 hours, come back, shower, change, grab lunch. The boss come pick us up and they took us to school. We go to school, come back, rest a little bit, had a little bit of snack. They pick us up and go to practice. Come back from practice, shower, and have dinner. We do it over and over again,
Yeah.
every single day. So that's how the residency program was set up for us. So it was just like the 40 best players at your age group. They
Right.
choose the best 40 players in the States, put them in the academy, sponsor them, pay for everything, develop them, and get us competing against, other countries.
And before we even get to the Galaxy part of it, like, how much do you feel like you developed within that time at Bradenton?
Definitely a lot,
Yeah.
because of the system.
Yeah.
Because I was playing every day. I was playing with the best players around. I was have the opportunity to play against the best. I mean, other countries. When I was at IMG, I played against Brazil, Portugal,
Wow.
Mexico, MLS teams.
Yeah.
Which at that time we had no respect for. So anytime we were going against the MLS team, bunch of young guys, we talk smack to them.
Yeah.
And this guy, we're like, man, you guys suck, man. You guys are playing in the MLS. You guys suck, man. MLS suck. But at that time,
yeah, 20 years
right,
ago.
we think the MLS sucks, man. We like better than you guys. So we were cocky. We were cocky young kids, just think that we just above everything.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped my development a lot because of the environment, because I was playing in a top level week in and week out every single day.
Yeah. And I imagine that's what they do at individual clubs all around the world versus
Yes.
the only place you can really get it in America, especially in year 2000, was if you made the national team, if you were already one of the top 40 players. That's very interesting. We'll get back to that. But okay, let me transition, because this is the question, I wanted to know. I imagine everybody wants to know, like, you're 16, you finally figure out LA wants you, and so that transaction happens. And did you go to the MLS draft, or did you just kind of come on the team? Okay, so they basically picked you up, they signed you.
No, so they have an MLS weighted lottery, meaning that if you don't go to the draft, right, which I didn't because I came in during the season,
yeah,
they're going to put me in a lottery, right, for random team to pick me up. So it's called the MLS weighted lottery. So I never went to the draft because I came in during the season, kind of like the middle of the season. So after I went and train with those couple teams, they give them the feedback. They put me in the lottery, and I remember that day vividly. I remember that day I was at home just chilling, and phone ring, picked it up. Hey, this is Alexi Lalas. Is this Israel Sesay? I'm like, yes. He's like, where are you right now? Oh, I'm in Maryland. He was like, are you fit? I'm like, yeah, I'm fit. Like, I'm strong. He was like, okay, you are coming to the LA Galaxy.
Yo.
Pack your stuff. We're getting you a flight. You're flying out tomorrow. Just like that.
That's crazy.
Imagine this, Matt, right? That was 2007. Guess who signed 2007?
Was that Beckham's year, or was that?
Yes.
That was the first year of Beckham, right? Yo. So
imagine that, right?
He's coming from PSG, by the way. That's so crazy.
So imagine that, right? Beckham signed. I was at the IMG Academy, came home. Beckham is blasted all over the TV.
Oh man.
everywhere, right? The league was going on. I'm out there training and doing all this. Then I got the call that I was gonna play with him. Imagine as a kid how that felt, man.
That's
I really cannot explain it. Thinking about it now, just I'm getting the vision, but it's like
no, that's different. And let me correct myself. He wasn't coming from PSG. He was coming from
Real
Real
Madrid.
Madrid. Yo, this guy, a Galacticos. Probably, honestly, like if we think about it, probably the biggest signing, especially like news-wise in the MLS, next to now Messi, right? Messi. Now I'm seeing this is the craziest, signing of MLS. But Beckham predated that, and honestly, now Beckham is the one who brought Messi here. That's nuts. So yeah.
And he was there before I got there. He was all over TV.
Yeah.
I got the call that I was gonna play with him. I went crazy.
So what happens next? Like you're in LA. You're with I don't know if Landon Donovan's there yet, but you're
No,
with.
he was. Landon was there. He was there.
It's Donovan. Yeah. It's
Kobe Jones last year.
Kobe Jones last year.
I
Wow.
managed to play with Kobe.
Wow.
Yeah, that was his last year.
That's
so when I got there, right? I got there. Yeah, Alexis called me. Obviously, they put me in the MLS with the lottery. Galaxy won. I got the call from Alexis. He said, "Yeah, welcome to LA. Grab your stuff. You're flying to LA." Next day, I'm in the plane flying to LA. The first player I actually saw was Kobe Jones. He was in the training room because at that time that was his last year. He was getting a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Old man syndrome. Just getting in the training room, getting a rub down. Because obviously, when you're hurt, you gotta get to practice early to get your treatment in before practice.
Yeah.
But that was the first guy I saw, man. Imagine, man, Kobe Jones, the dreadlock black Kobe Jones,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the only players, only black players in the MLS and black legends to look up to in America,
exactly.
Right? Crazy.
So that was crazy, and at that time the Galaxy was not doing good.
Yep.
They were horrible. We didn't even make the playoffs, so they were losing. And the first thing Kobe Jones said to me when Paul Bravo and Alexis would introduce me, he said, "Oh, kid, so are you gonna change the season around?" It was like, "Cause I'm gonna tell you now, we suck. We're losing every game." And I looked at Kobe. I was like, "Nah, man. I'm just trying to get in, man.
I'm just here to ball, bro. I don't know." Wouldn't that be crazy if you were like, yeah, bro. Yeah, OG. Just sit down and watch me work.
I was like, "Nah, man. I'm just trying to get in."
Man, that's crazy. Like, like shocked, right? Like just starstruck, culture shock, all of that stuff.
All that.
Especially coming to LA too.
So it was just crazy. But pick this, right? So when in that training room, going around, showing me the gym, go outside, training facility, goes to the stadium, taking pictures, whatever. Then obviously time start coming in. So the players start showing up from practice, right?
Yeah.
Came back in the locker room, introduced me to the trainer. Obviously, I got to give him my size, right? The trainer, the guy who's in charge of the gear, gave him my size. He got a bunch of gear for me. He tried to walk me into the locker room. So we came in, and there's a bunch of lockers, right? Everybody have their names on it or whatever. There's Landon locker right here. There was an empty locker in between, and there's David Beckham.
No.
And the trainer looked, he was like, "Do you want to sit over there?" I looked up, David Beckham, Landon Donovan, empty locker. I was like, "Nope." And he's like, "You know what, kid? You'll sit in there." And he just grabbed all my stuff. He grabbed my name tag, put it in between them, in between the lockers, and put all my stuff. Wow. I'm like, this is happening, huh?
Yeah.
What's going on? And the players are coming in. I'm introducing myself, right? Then that's when everything starts, big boy locker room. Because when you're playing in youth soccer, even with the national team, everybody change in your room and go in there and go to practice. Everybody that coming in the locker room, pop, everything but naked, people are putting it. And I'm looking around like, what the heck is going on? right?
This is people I see on TV. Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I turn my back. I'm trying to change, trying to get into my gear. Then Matt, you can't believe it. You can't believe that. Then I heard the English accent, right?
Yo.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Slowly dapping everybody coming towards his locker. Imagine, right? I'm sitting next to him.
Yeah.
Then I turn. It was Beckham. Oh my God.
That's nuts.
True story. I freaked out. Oh my God, it's David Beckham. Oh my God, it's David Beckham. I'm yelling. Everybody in the locker room, every player is laughing at me. They was like, "Oh, this kid is funny. Who is this kid? What the heck is going on?" Right? And he slowly came up to me. He's like, "Hi, I'm David." And I'm like, "Hey, David, man, I'm your biggest fan. My name is Izzy, man. I'm the new signing." And everybody's laughing, bro. And he was like, "Welcome, Izzy." Then he turned. Then before you know it, pop, butt ass maker.
Gotta get ready for training. That's crazy. You don't even think about that stuff, but that's, I mean, like, because when you're in the locker room with your team, it's just normal, right?
It's
but
normal, right? But that was my first time
that's
actually
your first
in
time.
like a professional locker room, and it's normal, right? At that time, like it was just crazy. You know, he had a bad ankle injury coming from Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And it was actually on the news, but it was really bad, and he took it off. And he showed me, he's like, yeah, his ankle was really bad. But he was like, man, I had to play. Like, you know, I got to play.
Wow.
So it was just, that day was just like unreal. And I remember we like went on the field and stopped playing. And I was just like shy, nervous, like, can't believe I was there.
Exactly.
You know, I can't believe I was there. And it just like, after that whole day, I went back to my hotel room and I just looked back at my life from where I came from.
Yo.
To be there.
Yeah. You already made it. It was already a success story before you even touched the pitch. You know?
Yeah, I was like, man, I made it.
Yeah. So what about the level? Like, what's the first thing you noticed going from kind of U20 or U17 nationals to like, okay, now I'm not only in the MLS, but I'm in the MLS during the like now expansion year. They brought in David Beckham, you know, LA, and yeah. What was that like?
My first experience was you lose the ball, you're gonna chase for it because the guys, everybody's comfortable on the ball. They're keeping the ball. Yeah. Because when you're playing youth, you lose the ball. It was come on, then you go and trying to get it back. But when you're playing, you give the ball away. These guys are very comfortable on the ball. Pop, pop, pop. They're keeping it. Yeah. And my whole idea, I don't know if you remember when I was telling you when we were playing against those MLS guys, and I thought the league was not good. When I went over there, that's when my whole thought process changed. You know what? These guys can play. Right. Yeah. These guys, like the way we think that these guys can play. This league is physical, strong. Everybody's comfortable on the ball. Yeah. The level is high. It's not what I used to. The pace is high. You got to be on your toes. You can't lose the ball. Everybody's comfortable on the ball. The physicality, man, it took me time to adjust. Wow. Oh, yeah. It took me time. Yeah. To adjust, and it wasn't easy. Yeah. And it was not. And it's crazy because you're in the middle of the season too. So they're in mid-season form. You're just coming over trying to get your lay of the land. Like how, obviously you said it took you time. Like how long would you say like until you like felt like you were able or even felt like, you know, okay, it's time for you to put me in, coach. Like I can play. Like. Couple weeks. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Couple weeks. Just had to get acclimated. What about the fitness level? Did you have to even my first practice, man? Because after practice we always do crossing and finishing. Right? Yeah. And David Beckham is putting crosses in, and I'm like, yeah. That was the first thing Landon called me out on after practice. Like, don't be shy, man. Go ahead the ball. Yeah. Like you were nervous. I mean, I was a kid. Right. I'm playing against the people that I look up to. Growing up, that's like crazy. I was nervous, but it took me about a couple weeks. That's when I settled down, and then I get my feet wet, and I'm like, oh well, you know what? I'm here. Let's do this. Yeah, let's play. Yeah, but you know, the level was different. The physicality of the league, the level of players that we had at that time, you know, it was just good, man. It was just top class players at that time. Yeah, 2007. And again, although. We didn't make the playoff, but
I was about to say, and again, this is the worst. I mean, and it's kind of a crazy reference to me. Like there are 29 teams in the MLS right now. When you came in, there were 12 teams, 6 on each coast, right?
yeah,
And you guys were 5 out of 6 on the West Coast, and had, I think, the 4th worst record in the league. That's what I'm seeing right here. So, and
yeah.
even then, you still came in, and it was like the level was super high. So
It was high. It was high. Although there was a couple guys that we had, that didn't understand the way how the U.S. system is set up, especially players like Beckham, because they're coming from promotion and regulation.
Right.
If you're that bad, you're coming in here fighting for your job.
yeah,
But the thing that it was 2 players actually. It was Beckham, and there was another player that played in Europe that was in that locker room. His name was Abel Xavier from Portugal.
yeah,
He played with Middlesbrough, Liverpool, Portugal national team, and all that. So he was going crazy in the locker room at practice every time. He said, "Man, you guys showing up comfortable every day? We're in the bottom of the league." But these guys are used to it because there's no that you're not going down.
Start again next season.
So he did not understand that,
Yeah,
and it was just mind blowing for them. And me as a kid to see firsthand how end of end of year meeting, right? So man, so we didn't we didn't make the playoff.
yeah,
End of the year meeting comes in. People are going at it. Players going at it. This guy Abel Xavier going after players and pretty much trying to kill players. And it was just like, man, the level is not good. We're the worst team here, and he was like, if this is in Europe, you guys are all pretty much fighting for your jobs, but over here everybody look comfortable. Nobody's not worried that we're not winning games. And there was, almost people come to blows, people cussing at each other, and I'm sitting there like,
wow,
what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
It was crazy to witness and see, firsthand that like how things like that really happens behind the scene that, most fans don't see. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But the good thing is we were able to solve that problem. And the following year, I think we end up going all the way to the MLS.
That's exactly what I'm looking up. You went up to the MLS Cup for sure.
Yeah.
Is that a coaching thing? Like how close were you with coaches when you came in, when they changed? Was it a crazy change for you? Like, how does that work? Or are you more with the trainers?
That didn't help me because I was young, right?
Yeah.
That didn't help my career personally. I think, that's one of the downfall of that because I play under 3 different coaches.
Wow.
3 different. It was the first one was Frankie Allop, Ruud Gullit, Bruce Arena.
Ruud Gullit coached?
Yes. Gullit.
I don't
know. Gullit was the coach. I think after Frank stepped down.
Wow.
Yeah. The next coach we brought in was Ruud Gullit. He was there for a little bit. And he stepped down in the middle of the season.
That's cool.
He was not getting along with the players, definitely, and he stepped down. That's when we bring in Bruce Arena.
Yeah.
Gullit was there.
I had no idea. That's
Yep.
Talk about legends.
Oh, legend.
I mean,
but that's the thing. He didn't understand too. That's why he wasn't successful. So he came here with that ego. I'm a big timer, Chelsea, big player. Came in, can't get along with the players.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
And he stepped down.
Yeah.
Bruce Arena came in and he was a players coach.
Yeah.
He knows how to manage the egos.
Yeah.
I think he definitely helped the Galaxy organization when he was there.
I can imagine.
When he came in, it changed the whole aspect, right? He was able to manage the egos. He knows how to deal with the players.
I heard he was tight with Beckham.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Beckham and Landon. Although those two were bumping heads.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say bumping heads, but I wouldn't say coming from Beckham. Beckham was really cool, but, they didn't see eye to eye like that. But, Bruce was able to smooth things down.
Yeah.
And he definitely changed things around. So, That was good.
I imagine Beckham to be. I'm not going to stay on Galaxy all day, I promise. But like, just thinking about it now, like from that point of view, like I imagine Beckham to be super chill. Is he like? What is he? Is he like? No, everybody first to the ball. You know, is he like crazy in training, or is he more like, all right, bruv, like,
Chill.
yeah,
Very shy. Very shy. That people don't know about David. Tends to stay to himself. Quiet.
yeah.
Amazing guy. That guy deserves everything he have in life.
Wow,
You know, he's the nicest, humble player that you will ever meet. You
wow.
know, but on the field, the only thing I would say about David on the field is if you're training, you go and kick Beckham. At
Oh,
the end of the training, he will make sure that it gets you back.
wow.
He's that competitive.
Yeah,
He's very, very competitive. You kick him, he will make sure he kick you back. He might not kick you right after that, but during the play, he will find ways to get one on you.
he doesn't
Very,
forget, huh?
very competitive. But
Man,
off the field, chill, shy, stay to himself, calm, nice guy. Look out for the players. Make sure that everybody's straight. He was giving us like a man in suit because he got all the sponsors, man.
yeah.
Sometimes we show up to practice, everybody got brand new phones, just waiting there in the locker room.
And
A
again,
man in
it's like
suit, man.
this is 2006, 2007. Like this is like
Yeah,
cell phones have only been like super around for the
yeah.
last 5 years, maybe 10. You know, like
Yeah, like it was crazy. Like
wow,
every Friday, we just take the whole team. We go to Beverly Hills, and go and have dinner.
yeah,
It was pay for everything
just
every
super
Friday.
chill.
Team dinner, David. Everybody goes to Beverly Hills and have dinner. The guy, just like I said, he deserves everything that he have in life.
That's good
I
to
can
hear,
never
man.
say anything bad about that man. And
Wow.
even my first game, he came up to me. The first thing he said, I was nervous, and the first thing he said, he's like, have fun, enjoy it, have fun. You make mistake, it's okay. Just go out there and have fun. And
Wow.
those words, they might not mean nothing to him, but those words means a lot to me.
That is awesome, bro. Like and again, like just seeing from afar, knowing, you kind of decide what kind of player or what kind of person these people are just based on how you see him on the field and how you see him in the media. So it's good to know that he's as nice as you talk about humble. I imagine because the two things I know about Beckham is his work rate. He doesn't stop running. And obviously he's a dead ball specialist, which I want to ask you, like, was it as good as everybody talks about? Like, him crosses, shooting, whatever, like, was it like next level?
Yeah, it was good. And guess what he does?
What's
He
that?
trained that every single day after practice. He would stay back for
Um,
an hour smacking balls
wow.
every single day.
Wow.
He
That makes
was
sense.
that good. He
That,
was that good.
that makes
He
sense.
would pick you. He would pinpoint you and get the ball to you.
Man, that's great to hear.
Amazing.
I got a group
And
chat.
even one day, right? We were doing crossing and finishing because I play forward and I play outside wing too. And I woke up to him. I was like, David, how do you do that? And he's trying to explain to him, and I'm looking at him just bending the ball, and it just the dude just got it.
Just a next
And the
level
funny
technique.
thing is, he knows that's his specialty, and you work on it
Yeah.
every single day after
Wow.
practice.
Wow. That's another thing. Yeah. Like
Every
you're already good at this, and still you're getting better and better. Like you're always
Yep.
working on it. Yeah,
every day after practice, he would stay back. He get a couple of forwards. He get the goalie to stay. He just smacking balls in every day.
man.
And it was just a guy that just read the game. David is not the guy that's going to get the ball and dribble you and take people on. No,
Yeah,
he read the ball before. Even now, when I'm coaching, I tend to tell my kids that you got to think ahead. You got to know what you want to do with the ball before the ball gets to you. And that was David.
yeah.
You never get close to him. As soon as the ball comes pop, he already plays.
Wow.
Read the game, smooth, passing range, very intelligent. Another level,
Just
man.
next level. Okay.
Another level, man.
I got one last question of the LA Gal because you have a whole journey and we're only on honestly the first step, one of the first steps. So the last LA Galaxy question for you: do you remember your first goal?
Of course.
Yeah, he said, of course.
You can
describe
never
to me.
forget that.
Yeah, how was it? Yes, describe to me how
It's
that
a
was.
play that came in, ball go down the line, LD landing, dribbling, put a cross in, it's in bottle, trying to hit it, deflect off of somebody. I'm coming from the left hand side, pop, tap in,
Nice.
smack it in, man. It was crazy.
You were going
Yeah,
crazy.
you can never forget that.
Oh yeah,
That was the beginning of everything for me, because obviously leading up to that moment, it was difficult. It was hard. Making the 18, don't get in. Sometimes don't make the 18
yeah,
because at that time, MLS people are coming here to watch superstars. When
yep,
you playing with the Galaxy at that time, people are coming there to watch the stars. So a young kid like me, no matter how good I'm killing it at practice,
yeah,
I'm killing it at the reserve leagues, I'm banging goals, it's difficult to get in
yeah.
because they want to see the stars.
Right.
They come in there to see the stars. And I mean, now hopefully the league has changed, but at that time, young players were not prioritized like that.
For sure.
It was just like we want to get the names, we want to get the biggest what's the word, advertisement that we can get.
Yeah.
Just put it out there so we can get viewers. We can get people to be like, okay, I want to watch the MLS. I want to invest in the MLS.
Yeah.
So young players like us was difficult.
Yeah. To your point, I'm not sure much has changed in the MLS yet. I know the academies they're building up and then trying to push players on. But in terms of actually playing in the MLS, as now you see Messi is over here, and the only way we can probably afford him is Adidas and Apple TV and everybody who's putting in money. It's still about, the big name players. So yeah, I mean, that's a perfect segue because I mean, you have a good career. You stay there for about 3 years. You win the MLS Cup in 2009. You finish off with 8 goals, 30 appearances for the Galaxy. Then what happens next? What was the next step?
And that goes back to the development parts of the league, or like the business side of the league. So I was Generation Adidas. I don't know if you're familiar what that is.
No.
So Generation Adidas is I was signed with Adidas. So Generation Adidas
that's why
was
you got
for
the
young
F50.
players coming into the league, right?
Yeah.
You coming in, they're paying you better than players who've been in the league for 5, 6, 7, 8 years because of what Generation Adidas was willing to give young players at that time. So I was on a good salary. I was making good. I was making good money. I got sponsored from Adidas, free shoes, clothes. I have a 10,000 allotment just on clothes. Then I was getting 15,000, 20,000 a season. Just check.
Wow.
That's just from Adidas.
Just from Adidas.
Right? Wow. That and plus my allowance, then obviously my salary from the MLS. So I'm on good salary. So when that 3 year came finished, I went in the room talking to Bruce Arena. Then he's like, Izzy, we love you, but we can't afford you anymore because I had 2 years option. If Galaxy could have picked up my option, I would have been making like 160, 170. Which, at that time in the league,
2010.
That's the big time. That's what I'm saying. Because
yeah,
that's the big time. And they was like, listen, we if we pick you up, we're gonna go above the budget.
Yeah, the
so
cap.
We cannot afford you. As much as we love you, we want you to be here, but we cannot afford you because of the players that we have. People here on some good salary, and you are one of our top owners.
Yeah.
And they prioritize obviously the veteran guys over the development of somebody that can come over there and actually being in that organization for a very long time. But It's the system that we have.
Yeah.
They want that star now that they can prioritize. So when I sat down, that's what Bruce Arena told me. He's like, listen, man, we already above the budget. We can't afford to pick you up. If we pick it up, we're gonna go way up, way above it. So unfortunately, we have to let you go.
That's crazy.
And that was it. Do I think the people that will represent me did a very good job? No.
Yeah.
They just, and that's the other thing I preach to kids nowadays about when you have the talent, finding the right people that can represent you. Because a lot of these guys, or a lot of this company who are representing players, they're not doing it the right way. They're not doing it the right way. When it's time for them to actually fight for you and trying to get you a new deal, sometimes people don't care. That's why it's good to have a family member, just like what the Messi, the Neymar, right? That's what they
Yeah.
do. They got the brothers, their dad, and people like that
Oh yeah.
representing them, because you gotta have somebody that doing it for the best of your
Just
interests.
really in
So
your corner.
I think after that 3 years, my agent, I trying to get in contact with them. It was just, yeah, man, this team interested. They just keep pushing you back. It was the biggest agency at that time I was with, WMG. I don't know if you
WMG.
know them. It's
So
biggest agency in the States. They represent all the big time players. So,
wait,
I
talk about this a little bit. Like, so I mean, yeah, that is a big agency. Is that like, did Adidas connect you with it? Like, how did you even get to that point? I mean, you might have to go back a little bit now. Like,
yeah.
once you got to the MLS, you have to have an agent. You have to figure out money. How does that work?
They obviously with the U.S. national team,
Ah,
yeah, when they saw me, and that's when they come after me. They came
yeah,
after me. I mean, my family trusts them. I trust them. My daddy know nothing.
yeah,
He's like, hey, these guys are gonna represent you. They look like they have a good track record with the players, with Landon, Etsibodu, even the big time coaches, even
yeah.
the coaches in the MLS, they are represented by WMG. But they have so many clients, right? Everybody for them is just a paycheck. That's
Mm,
how I see it now, looking back at it. So that's how I connect with them back in the youth system over there.
wow.
That's when they start representing me. So when I went to the league, it was them that I was with. I signed with them before I signed, so
Were you with
yeah.
anybody specifically? Like, did you have a long-term relationship with your specific agent?
It's a guy named Aaron Mays.
Mm,
They keep, they switch, rep, with my time when I was with them. So, but it was a guy named Aaron Mays that was actually working on me, and he did a good job, but he left, and I got put into a position where every time I called, I was talking to a different person at that time.
wow, wow. Yeah, I
So
mean
it
that's
was tough, man.
yeah.
It was really, really tough, and I'm like, man, I pay you guys all this money. Now that I'm looking for a new team, it seemed like everybody just went
That's
like bye
crazy.
bye.
It's something you don't even think about. And again, especially in this day and age, people are getting recruited younger and younger, or going different places. You want to be smart about who you get representation with. You want somebody who's really in your corner. So I can totally understand that. Just
Yeah,
suddenly, if
yeah,
you're
it
not the
was.
hottest thing anymore, they're just kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
talk to Fred. Fred will help you
yeah,
out.
exactly. It was just like that. And there's a new team coming in here, USL, LA Blues. I know a couple of the players there already that they already signed, and one of them was a guy that I play with the Galaxy, Josh Tudela. Tudela was the first signing, right? And Tudela was the one that actually contacted me and said, bro, do you want to come in and play? I was like, yeah, I mean, I would be interested, but let me talk to my agent. At that time, I still trust and believe in them, right? And I hit them up, hey, guys, talk to LA Blues and trying to see if I can get in. So they were like, yeah, we're going to stay in contact with them. A week goes by, I call them. Yeah, we call them. They're going to try to get you in like in 2 weeks and things like that. Then I take the initiative, Matt. I took the initiative, talk to Josh Tudela. Hey, Josh, let me have the coach's number, right? Because me and Josh, we have the relationship playing with the Galaxy for 3 years, so he knows me.
Yeah.
So he gave me the coach number. I called the coach, and the coach was like, WMG never contact us.
Wow.
So that's when oh wow, this has been like this whole summer off season or whatever, it's been a whole lie, right? You guys are just
Not working for me.
pretty much just not working, just lying to me.
That's crazy.
They sent me a contract. I didn't even talk to my agent. They sent me
Mm.
a contract through me, my email. I signed the contract. I sent it back. That's when I finally contact them And I asked them the same question. Listen, man, have you guys talked to the Blues? And yeah, man, next week, you're going to get in next week, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, dude, man, stop lying. I
Right.
just signed with them. He was like, what? It's like, I just signed with them. So all this time, you guys going to be lying to me. I pay you guys 3 years, good salary. When my contract ran out, instead of you guys coming trying to fight for me, you guys just not be doing anything.
That's crazy.
And that just opened my eyes to a lot of things, and the things that I go behind the scene with this agency, and most kids now that I play with, and anytime they come up to me, I'm like, dude, maybe sign with them a year. As soon as you get your feet wet, if you're a good player, go get your mom, your dad, your brother, somebody you trust to represent you. They will actually do a better job for you. They will fight for you than people who just there just to collect checks from you. So it was crazy.
Man. And that's such an important thing because, whenever I think about it, I only hear the horror stories of somebody having their family represent them, right? You got Nicholas Anelka, who kind of got a bad rep. He's probably played at every big club in Europe. And, his brothers, I think, were representing him. And you hear horror stories, oh, this and that. That was the first one off the top of my head. But that's what I think of when I think of bringing family members in to represent you. I'm like, well, they don't know the business. They don't have the contacts. They shouldn't do it. But now hearing you now, that makes a lot of sense. Like, all you need from a representation standpoint is somebody who will fight for you. Right?
That's it.
They don't need to know everything. I mean, you're the person that they come to, right? So you just need somebody who's really cares about it. So
that's it. Who cares about you? Who's gonna give you the best deal? Who's gonna, when things are, somebody who's just gonna fight for you.
Yeah.
Somebody who cares about you. That's
crazy.
all you need, because you are the talent. You can play. They're gonna come after you.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. But you got to get somebody on your corner that's willing to fight for you, that have the best interest.
That's the first time I've ever heard, even had that thought process. Because I think about it all the time. Like, why are you getting your dad? Your dad doesn't know anything about this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, they're coming. All these brands, all these different things, they're going to come to you. You don't need to know who to call. You just need to be there and be passionate enough to go, hey, that doesn't sound like a good deal for my son, my brother, my whomever. That's crazy. Wow, that's a good
man. If you have your dad, your brother, and things, they're not gonna sign something bad that's gonna
affect all of you.
That's your brother, that's your blood.
Yeah,
they're gonna do something that's right for you.
Yeah. So then you signed with the Blues. At this point, did you drop Wasserman, WMG?
Yeah, Wasserman. Yeah, I dropped them. Right after that conversation, as soon as they were talking on the phone, I just cut them off. Listen, man, stop lying. I already signed with the Blues. Now I know the game that you guys were playing.
Yeah,
it's all good, but you guys have a good one. And I just hang up the phone, signed with the Blues, and that was it. Never look back. Never talk to them.
Wow. And then and
drop them off. Drop all the rep off on social media. At that time, it was only Facebook. Just unfollow everybody, man. Bye.
Cut it off. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just gonna focus and do things on my own. And since then, I never signed with another agency.
Wow.
I just than myself.
And you're not the first person who's told me about that either. Actually, the person who connected us, Warren, said the same thing. He had to start agenting for himself. And that's how it is sometimes. Okay. Wow. So then, you play for the Blues. You have a great great run with them for just a year, 2011 to 2012, 43 appearances, 20 goals. You're balling. And it looks like that's really the last 11v11 that you play. Then you transition to indoor.
So I actually played 2 seasons with the Blues.
2 seasons.
3 years. Yeah. Like 2.5 years.
2.5.
So I play a couple seasons with them. The USL season, the off season is long back then at that time.
Yeah.
It was like 4 or 5 months. So there was a place that was close by my house in Torrance. I was living in Torrance at that time. They had an indoor place there, right? A futsal place. So usually I would go over there to play with my friends and stay active. One day, I was over there playing, and the U.S. national team, futsal team, was there training. The coach was there. His name was Kip Tozer. He was there. He saw me playing, and this guy was chasing me after I finished. He was like, "Kid, come here. I'm like, who the hell is this guy?" He's like, hey man, have you ever played futsal? I was like, nah, man, I just play for fun. I was like, I play outdoor. I play with the Blues. He was like, have you ever played indoor? I was like, what is that? He's like, indoor soccer. I was like, nah, man, I don't know what that is. I was like, I only play outdoor. Then he was like, listen, man, we have an indoor soccer league. I'm the futsal national team coach, but I'm also the coach for indoor team in Milwaukee called the Milwaukee Wave.
Mm.
It was like, listen, take my number, let's talk, and I will talk to you more about it. I'm like, all right, just give me your number. I didn't even care, right? I just grab it and exchange numbers and go home. And this guy did not stop calling me, man. He
Wow.
was blowing me up nonstop. I'm ignoring his call. I'm like, man, I have no idea what this indoor thing is about. I'm thinking about giving it a try. I look at the dates, the time. You know what? I can go play
It
during
was
the
in the
off
off
season and
season.
still come back and play with the USL.
Wow.
You know what? I can keep myself busy, keep the paycheck coming in. Why not?
Yeah.
Right? I end up signing a 2-year contract over there in Milwaukee. And I went over there and I just fell in love with the game. And I called back the Blues. I told my boys, I'm like, I'm done, man. I'm
Yeah.
not playing outdoor anymore. Everybody thought I was playing.
Wow. Wow.
I'm like, this is a new, interesting thing I've never seen in my life.
For sure.
I'm done. I'm not coming back.
Yeah. What would
I'm
you?
not coming back. Everybody that I was playing with the Blues thought I was kidding. I'm like, bro, this is exciting. The fans are crazy.
Yeah.
The way how they treat us is good. I'm done with outdoor soccer.
Wow.
That was it. And I never looked back. I never play after that. Never played.
Never played. What's the main difference like between like that you felt? I mean, yeah, you said the fans, the fan base, and how they treated you. Is it anything having to do with the style of play as well, or like the style of play?
It was the style of play, the pace,
The pace.
the fast pace, the goals, right? High scoring goals, the fans getting
Wow.
into the game,
Yeah.
the arena, right? Because the team that I went to, right, they've been around this indoor game for years, so they have a good fan base. Every game, the arena is packed.
Wow.
The excitement,
Yeah.
it was something that I've never experienced. Like, yeah, I play in the MLS, I play in front of 60, 70,000 people, but this was just different.
Mm.
And I'm like, bro, this is different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done. If I'm gonna be, you know what? I fell in love with the game again because again, if you track back to what I was telling you, my time with the Galaxy and living and going with the Blues, all that. Not sure if I'm gonna play the line and this and that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I don't even want to do this anymore, right? So you go to the USL, it's not they don't USL don't attract that much fans. The league was a grind, right? You know, you're grind, you're just playing, you're just keeping yourself in, you're making a little bit of money.
Yeah.
It wasn't exciting per se, but you're still playing in the league, you're still playing, still making this, you're still making money.
Yeah.
But when you went to the indoor game, I was making more money I was making with the USL and the fan base and the excitement and the treatment. I'm like, this is it. I'm done. I'll find something new.
Bro, that's crazy.
I'm not coming back.
Yeah. That's
And that was it.
man. And you know that's another kind of charge of mine, especially for Americans and specifically young Black Americans. You know, everybody wants to play football or play basketball, and when you think about the smallest of small percentages it takes to get into the NBA and let alone be a player in the NBA, where in football, I mean, there's 22 players out on the field just like soccer, but and the rosters are bigger. The rosters are 50-man rosters, but 70% of those, they're done within 1 year of playing in the NFL. They're done for good. You know what I mean? And so it's like, but if you come and play soccer, I mean, you can play indoor, you can play futsal, you can play beach soccer, you can, you know, you can play in the USL. There's leagues all around the world for these things. There's just so much bigger of a pool to compete in versus just trying to get into the NFL or something like that. So
absolutely true, you know, and me, you know, that's my pathway, you know, MLS, door close, USL, MASL, you know, and just continue playing, you know, and living my dream still. It might not be in the MLS, but I'm doing it. I'm loving it, and I've made a career out of it.
Yes.
And you definitely have a point there. Instead
Yeah.
of people going into that league, with the soccer environment, there's a different avenue you can go.
Yeah.
I can be like, I want to play in Fiji. Got a contact in Fiji. I'm gonna go over there and play in the professional league over there
Absolutely.
and make a life out of it.
And
If I
live
want
a
to go play
life.
in Ghana, if I want to go play anywhere else, the game is universal, man. You can go anywhere in the world, you can play it as long as you have the talent. You can live anywhere and play the game that you love.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's an amazing game.
That is so amazing. And so you're talking about the different avenues you can take. Now let's go to kind of where you started getting interested in coaching and wanting to like teach young players and what you're doing now. Where did that come from?
To be honest, I never thought that I was gonna be, coaching. I remember when when they first came up to me and be like, "Hey, man, do you want to go coach these kids?" I had no idea. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Any player that you go up to and ask them that question, they never want to do it. Nah, I'm not doing that. And it was funny. Warren was the one that actually be like, dude, listen, man. The word that he uses is like, bro, coaching is the move. And every time me and him talk, I always said that to him, and he said like a big laugh, right? That's the first thing he said to me when we did the clinic. We went and did a clinic, and I was amazed to see how Warren was working with the kids. And I'm like, bro, you coach? He's like, yeah, man, I coach back in Georgia. I'm like, dude, how did you do that? Like, he's like, bro, coaching is the move, bro. That's exactly what he said.
Wow, coaching is the move.
That's the exact what he said.
Yeah.
And that's an inside joke between me and him now. Anytime we talk, I always say that, bro, coaching is the move. Then we will laugh about it. But I never thought I was going to coach. I mean, I know the game. I play the game. I'm passionate about the game. I know the game in the highest level. But I never thought I was going to pass it back on.
Yeah.
So when I started doing those clinic, I fell in love with those kids. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what got me into it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to turn my back on them because I see how passionate and how willing they want to learn. Then I came home and the lady called me and we had a long conversation and she said, you can actually make an impact on these kids.
Yeah.
You can actually make an impact on them. So that's why I was like, okay, let me start looking into this. Let me start taking this serious.
Wow.
And let's see if it can work with my schedule at first and see if I can actually make this happen. And, it's been really, really, really good. But, that's another story right there, right? The US youth development system that we can tap into that I think we're doing it the wrong way here. The pay to play, the people who are running this club that have no idea about the game, but they just have a good business mindset. The parents are doing the wrong things and not being patient with the coaches. There's a lot of things going on in the youth development system that's rotten.
Yeah.
It's rotten. The development system in this country is rotten. There's a bunch of coaches that have no idea what they're doing, but they're running clubs, they're coaching these kids. And that's why we struggle in the big stage, because the development system is not good.
Yeah. Outside of maybe pay to play, like what would you say like is the main, one of the main things that you would change if you could just, wave a wand and switch things up for the youth soccer system?
Number one, we can't ignore that. The pay-to-play system needs to go away, right?
Yeah.
It can give a lot of kids an opportunity. Even me right now, at my club, I give a lot of kids scholarship because I remember when I was coming up, people paid for me to play.
Yeah.
If a parent or like the club was not sponsoring me, I probably would have never been here, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So I remember that's the number one thing.
That
The
is
other
number
thing
one.
is we have to have people that understand the game. Because when you go to Europe, the coaches that are working with these kids are either expos or people that plays the game, that understand it. It's different when you're working with kids and when you work with professional. With professional, do you really need to know the game to be a coach? No. That's why they call you a manager. You got to be able to manage the egos in the professional level.
Wow.
And you can hire coaches that knows how to coach. All you got to do is manage the egos of the professionals. But with the youth system, you got to know the game. You have to know how to play the game. You got to know how to teach these kids the skills, the technique. You got to be patient. You have to know the game to be in that environment. And the problem with this youth system in America, there's a lot of guys who are coaching. And the funny thing is they're coaching these big clubs, this ECNL, that have no idea what they're doing. No idea. They never play the game. They play the game in high school or rec, college or whatever, but they don't have the mindset. They don't have the patience. They can't teach these kids the right way. A lot of this club, their whole motto is to recruit players instead of developing them. And we tend to get away from the development side of the game. You know, there's a lot of coaches that go and develop the kids, but this big club come and take them away and just put them in this team that a bunch of superstars and don't still teach them. It's just a bunch of good, okay, because we have this brand, we are a GA or ECNL team. I have the power to go bully this little guy who are actually doing a good job developing this kid. Now I can take them away, put a superstar team, and I'm not developing them. I'm just trying to get more, and they're not developing this kid.
Wow.
So it's a system that's broken. I can go on and on and on this topic.
Sure.
I'm very, very passionate about it because there was a league, right, in SoCal. It's called CSL. They had a system where if you're a new team and you get in, you're going to go to bronze, right? Bronze is like the beginners, right? The beginners level. You got to win. You have to own a promotion. There is a promotion and regulation. This is a youth system, right? If you're producing good teams, good players, you keep winning the league or the top, or every year the top 5 team get promoted to the next to the next stage. So if you are doing a good job, you have a chance to get your team to the top to compete against the best team just because you're doing a good job. But a lot of these big clubs saw that they were struggling, they were being relegated, and they were like, nope, let's get away from this league and go form our own league where we can just control the narrative. And everybody left the CSL league and went and go form a new league called SoCal. Now that SoCal league, there's no promotion, there's no regulation. It's just like the big clubs get themselves in a league where they just stay there.
Wow.
This is our league. This is the best place you can play. Even if we lose every game, it doesn't matter. We already have our status. We're just going to stay here.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell the parent this is the best of the best that your kid can play.
It's like
and everybody left CSL. Now, CSL is nothing. They still have the league, but it's nothing.
That's tough.
Just because of the system that they created, that you have to prove to yourself that you can coach.
Right.
You have to prove that you can develop kids. Because if you're not doing it, you keep going down. You keep staying down. So people don't like that. Everybody left.
It's like a youth version of the European Super League they were trying to put together.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. So how important as a coach, a youth coach specifically, is like winning to you? You know, like obviously in a CSL standpoint, like if you're developing these players and you're winning, that's good. You're getting promoted. But you could also be a team, like you said, who's just recruiting the best players and you're winning, and it's not really developing the players. Like, you know, I've had coaches come on this program a bunch of times and talk about, you know, sometimes too early on, coaches are too focused on winning. Like, we need to win. So instead of you know, 12-year-old who has some skill sets, but you're not going to score me the goal, this kid who I just recruited will, you know, let's just do that. Like, how does that work with what you're seeing?
Listen, it's tough because the way how the system is set up, coaches have got pressure on them because, again, the pay-to-play system, right? And the American mentality is we want to win.
Yeah.
We want to have a nice post on Instagram, Facebook of my kid getting a trophy or like a medal.
Yeah.
If you are on a team and you're playing the right way, the coaches actually want to teach you, right? You're going to make mistake if you're young. You want to play out from the back. You want to pass in, play out. they're gonna make mistake, and somebody's gonna tap in that ball and put it in, and you're gonna lose games. But you're playing the right way. You're teaching the kids the right way, and your parents not gonna like that because they're losing games, right? And guess what happened at the end of the season? Oh, we lose all our games because our coach like trying to pass, and teach the kids. We're not winning, and guess what they do? They leave your team and go join another team. They want to go to a team that's winning every day.
Wow.
They might be playing ugly soccer, getting the ball, put it up and score. But as long as they're winning, hey, another post. Hey, we won today. Oh, we won today. But is your kid really, really getting better?
Yeah.
So for me, I don't really care about the winning. And I tell my parent that every time. I'm not going to win every game. I'm here to teach your kid. And you can stay here with me, but at the end of the season, you're going to see your kid develop. If you want your kid to get better, come to me. If you want to go win game, go somewhere else when you can go win game. And that tells me that you're doing it for your own ego, for your own ego. Like, okay, my kid is winning every game, but is your kid really getting better?
Yeah.
You know, so there's pressure on coaches to win because coaches want to retain those players.
Yeah.
And you win every game, it's hard for parents to leave you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're winning, man. Our team is winning. But is your kid really getting better? So it's like,
yeah, you need to win to keep kind of players involved and around and keep the pressure off the coach. But you also need to not focus only on winning because, again, it's development. These players need to develop. And how many of these top
right there, Matt?
Yeah.
That's the word, development.
Yeah.
And some clubs tend to use that, but they don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't develop. They recruit. They play the long ball, they win, and they just keep going. And it's a cycle. They just keep going like this.
Wow.
And it happens every single day. But when you look at the European system, it's different. These coaches, when they train and when they play, the parents stay away. They don't even talk to the parents.
Yeah.
Now you have time to actually work with these kids. You train every single day. You lose game, no parent is going to email you or call you right after. Man, you should have played this. Why you didn't play my kid? Why you do that? They don't do that. They actually have time to develop the kids. So we are way behind.
Yeah.
We are way behind with our developmental system. And that's why now, because I coach girls, that's why now, if you look at with the US national team, all these other countries are catching up.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, what you're saying is just opening my mind up a little bit to like the bigger European game too. You know, I have a lot of friends who support Dortmund or support Ajax, you know, storied clubs with huge histories. But they go, you know, but they sell their players and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I think about it now and I'm like, well, these clubs are like committed to development. And some of the best players who've ever played come from those clubs, those smaller clubs, whatever. And then they go and get their players a bag. Like, okay, now you've balled out. You've beat every Real Madrid player here in Champions League. Now go let them give you the bag. Go to Chelsea. Go to Real Madrid. Go wherever. You know what I mean? It makes sense. Yeah.
This is the problem because you have guys on the sideline who don't know the game. They don't know the game, but they're out here teaching kids how to play the game.
Yeah.
How can you do that in a youth system?
Yeah. And
how?
And in America, all the other sports, they won't even let you in if you don't have certain prerequisites as a coach. But I see all the time, even in higher club levels, you know, a friend of mine's got 12-year-old girls and they just kind of bring in whoever who says, you know, who's just interested in coaching or who thinks they have the passion for it, but no real game knowledge. So then you start Fury FC, right? You start this club.
Yeah.
First of all, how do you even start a club? Like, what do you even think about? And then, you know, and how is it going so far? Like, what are you working on?
So I was coaching for, I coached for Arsenal, I coached for Legends. It's two of the biggest clubs around.
In Southern California or just in general?
Yes, right? So I'm coaching with Legends and I'm seeing the system, right? Just like what I'm talking about. And I see that the old system that we're running is about recruitment of these kids. They're not developing them. It's all about the money, right? They're just taking money away from parents, just selling parents the dream. I didn't like that. I'm like, listen, man, this game gave me everything. I want to help these kids. We're not helping these kids. We just recruiting them. They comes here, then we go and go recruit more kid than that kid that we already had. Just because this kid that we brought in is better than that kid, now we're gonna put this kid in the B team. Now this kid don't want to play anymore, and she left.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. That kept happening over and over and over again. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be part of this. I'm gonna go start my own thing and do it the right way. Focus more about the development. I know it's gonna be difficult, but as long as I'm doing a good job, paying that really knows, they will be here with me. So I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Imagine soccer. This is the biggest youth club soccer system here.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars of business. People are making money. Then a new guy coming in, trying to start his own club, is not easy to do.
Yeah.
But, I believe in myself. I knew that, when I was with Legends, I had of every team I was coach was very good.
Yeah.
I'm doing a good job. I'm winning tournaments. I'm winning the league. I'm getting kids from rec and train them and go win everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go start my own thing. And talk to Fury and, talk to the guy who was because like the boys, they had the boys. They only had the boys, but they only had like one team. So the guy came up to me and was like, listen, man, you can do it. Like, you have the name to do it. You have the track record because of your teams that you have produced.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not sure if you're going to work, but you are a good coach. You know the game. Do it and just see it. So I was like, man, I would take a risk. Then I just left. It was tough for me to walk away from those kids. Obviously I talked to the parents. I explained to them why. I'm like, listen, man, I came into this coaching role to help.
Yeah.
And we're not helping your kids. Because every year we're just getting players and just sending your kids somewhere else to go play in a random team. I'm not here for this. I want to actually help your kids. And these clubs, they're not doing that. So this is not why I signed up for. So I'm going to go start my own thing and I'm going to walk away. But if you guys want to come with me, you can come. But if not, I totally understand. Right? Because I don't want to go and bring your kid that I've got to this high level to bring you guys back to go from the ground up. That's not what I'm about.
Yeah.
Stay there and I'm going to go start my own thing.
Wow.
So I went and started my own thing and we put the advertisements out there. Israel Sesay starting his own club, blah, blah, blah. Matt, the first day of tryouts, I show up 1 hour early, nervous, like, what's going to happen? Like, I don't know. This kid's going to come out. 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6. Parents are coming in. And I stand there. Imagine, man, black dude, man.
For sure.
Coming, because man, this soccer game is for... It's a rich man, white man sport, right?
It's the white man sport in America. There, yeah.
Seeing the kids coming in, trying out, signing up. There's almost tears come out of my eyes, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
That's crazy. So you got some people. So how long has this been with Fury FC?
It's been 7 years now.
7 years, yo.
Yeah, it's been 7 years. I've been doing it. I've been playing and coaching. So I play and coach. So I managed to get it into my schedule where I can play and I can also coach. I can play and I can also coach. I've been doing it for 6-7 years now, and it's been going really well.
And do you now have like a team of coaches or?
Yes. I have coaches that coach for me.
Wow.
We have the boys side, we have the girls side. It's not easy.
I can't imagine.
Because of over here, there's so many clubs thing. Everybody's selling people the dream. Like, this is the pathway for your kid to go to college. This is the pathway for your kid to go to high school. There's so many leagues.
Yeah. So
many leagues. You got ECNL, ECRL, GA, E64, MLS Next, this DPL. There's so many leagues. Everything is watering down.
Yeah.
And every year, parents just keep suckering the parents and selling them the dreams every year. And it's sad to see because it should be more about the kids. But a lot of this club, they put this and selling that big brand and have a good marketing business behind it.
Right.
to get them going. And it's not really about the kids anymore. It's just about the money,
Just about making
about them
money.
having the biggest marketing scheme going on and just getting parenting.
So when
And
you
it's sad to see.
when you see these leagues, like the leagues that your teams are in, the other leagues that you were naming, like are they creating this pay to play squeeze as well? Like is it really expensive to get these teams into leagues? Or is it also just these individual clubs and these coaches just trying to get their money too? And so they're just like, oh yeah, come to my club, you'll pay all this. Yeah, you can play in ECNL, you can play wherever, but it's gonna cost you, a couple grand, $5. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like that. Both ways. Coaches trying to get their money.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing they do. They want to get their money.
Yeah.
And and it's too expensive. It's too expensive for the kids to play.
Yeah.
But these coaches are there just to make their money.
Wow.
And that's just what it is. It's just sad to see. And I know I'm in that business, but it bothers me because it should not be like that.
It just needs to change. Like flat
It
out,
needs to change. It needs to change. And I don't know how it's gonna happen.
Right.
Because the people are making money.
Exactly.
People are making serious money out of it. Do they want to get away from it? I doubt it.
No. Who would want to get away from making money? It's already happening.
Yeah.
And then a coach even like you who's giving scholarships and stuff, I know you can only give so much, but you still have to pay the league fees and pay for the the properties you're playing on and all these things. Like it's all money and it makes no sense.
It's all money.
Wow.
It's all money. And once we get away from that and keep putting the right people that knows how to coach this kid, that care about the development of these kids, that want the best for this kid, and try putting them in position where we can, create better players and get these players to the next level when they can compete. We're just gonna be,
mediocre.
USA. Yes, we can. First round out.
Exactly.
Yes, we can. Second round out.
Yep.
And like a country like US, one of the biggest country in the world, we should be going to the final. That's just what it is.
I agree.
We should be doing it because we have so many people here, so many different nationalities.
Yeah, so many.
But because of the way how the soccer system is set up, it's gonna be difficult. And the funny thing is, most of the guys who actually, if you look at the U.S. national team, the ones that play yesterday, most of these guys, they left.
They're overseas.
They're out of here.
Yeah.
When they're young, they were out of here. Paying people quick. I'm getting my kid out of here.
Yeah.
They're all developing a different country.
Yeah.
All of them.
And unfortunately and fortunately, like that's the way that maybe this will change. You see so many players go overseas, and then finally maybe we start winning more, and when we win more or get deeper in rounds of these big tournaments, and when we do that, more parents and coaches and organizers are paying attention to that and want to bring more people in, and then hopefully it somehow shifts to developing actual players and gets away from just squeezing money out of parents who just want their kids to be active. But there is that disconnect. There's that disconnect from ballers who know the game and want to give back like you to people who just, again, how we grew up, it was, hey, let's just, get your kids out and get them active. And, it's going to cost you $2,500 to do it, but like, come on, let's do it. So that has to connect. And hopefully as strange as it is that we have to have players to get out of this country in order to actually learn the game the right way, they're going to have to do that for some generations in order to bring that back, I think, and have players and coaches like you who know the game and can actually train these kids. So it's headed in the right direction, but you're right, man. It's like, I don't know. It's just going to take a long time.
As long as you teach them the right way when they're young, they grow up, they'll be able to get to MLS or like Europe or with the national team, and they will be able to compete against these different countries.
Play the right way. We need real coaches, and the real coaches who know the game need to be teaching the youth, not the top players. Yeah. You heard it here first. It's the boy Izzy Sesay. I appreciate you coming on here, man. I appreciate you coming to the podcast. Hey, also, if you want to, I want to come catch you in a game one of these days. I don't know if you play against any like LA indoor teams, but if not, I'm gonna look at the schedule. Yo, you can find Izzy. He's playing for the Empire Strikers out in Ontario, California. If you're out there and you want your kids to come and be coached by some real ballers too, check out Fury FC. Where can they find Fury FC? Online, on Instagram?
Yeah, online, social media, Fury FC IE.
Fury FC, Inland
Yeah,
Empire.
look it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll definitely find it. Just type in Fury FC IE.
Hey, Fury FC IE, you heard it here first. We're here with the big baller, Izzy Sesay. Hey, I appreciate you again coming in. Appreciate you guys listening. If you're listening on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you are, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the EPB podcast. We'll catch you guys next time.